Barakim Habarim, welcome to Messianic Moment Ministry. I'm Stephen Brook. Yeah, you know who you are. Today is the 7th day of October 2025. All right, so you read the title, and I'll bet you're waiting to see how this one turns out, right? I mean, what do restaurants with automatic tipping have to do with the Bible? And I'll get to that in a second, but first, if you haven't done so, please hit the little red button there. Subscribe here on YouTube. Go back to messianicmoment.com. Subscribe there too. There are different lists, and it helps me get out to more people when you do that. Also, hit the little notification thing. I mean, if you're going to subscribe, you might as well know when I post, right? Yeah, why not? And if you like what you get here, you're going to like the 5 books I've written. All of them are available to you with links through the website, or go to Amazon.com, put Stephen R. Brook in the search field, and boom, they all show up. But most important of all, please share these messages with everyone. Well, let's start this by reviewing first what Yeshua said in Luke 17, 7 through 11. This is from the Complete Jewish Bible. If one of you has a slave tending the sheep or plowing, when he comes back from the field, will you say to him, "Oh, come along now, sit down and eat"? No, you'll say, "Get my supper ready, dress for work, and serve me until I have finished eating and drinking. After that, you may eat and drink." Does he thank the slave because he did what he was told to do? No. It's the same with you. When you have done everything you were told to do, you should be saying, "We're just ordinary slaves. We have only done our duty." All right, well, first let's talk about the slave thing. All right, if you recall, and even if you don't, in the Gospel of John, in Romans, in 1 Peter, we're told that everyone is a slave to that which controls them. So we might be a slave to sin, we might be a slave to obedience, and probably all a slave to Facebook, but we are all always a slave to something. The ideal thing is to be a slave to God. I mean, duh. Now, we're getting closer to the automatic tipping part of this message. By the way, when I talk about obedience, I do not mean obeying a religion, but obeying what God said we should do, how to worship Him and how to treat each other. And that is found only in the Torah. That obedience is not something we get extra credit for. It's what we are expected to do. There's no tip for resting on the Shabbat. You don't get a tip if you fast on Yom Kippur. And there's no tip for loving your neighbor. No. I mean, these are the minimum required things. Now, let's get to automatic tipping. Okay, one of the real problems in America today, as I see it, is that people in the service industry, whether it's like a waiter in a restaurant, or when next week we're gonna be on a cruise, or a steward on a cruise ship, these people are being given tips automatically. The bill comes and there's a 17% tip automatically charged to you. And sometimes they call it something else, but it's a tip. And on top of that, they still have space under the subtotal for you to add another tip. Now, you might say, well, hey, so what? Why is that a problem? I'll tell you why. It supports a selfish and lazy attitude that people have today because they all feel they're entitled. Come on, tell me that you don't know or think that many of today's youth think they're entitled. I mean, they expect their school loans to be paid for. They expect work hours to be convenient for them. What, I got to get up at 8 o'clock? They expect a raise at work just for showing up. When people are expecting to automatically get a reward, I mean, where's their motivation to give the best service they can? In my experience, I found that when you have people working together and the ones who do the least get the same rewards as the ones who do their best, guess who changes their attitude? When I was an executive officer, when I was in the Marine Corps, I was an executive officer of a company. I got transferred to a company whose morale was so low you could walk on it without having to get on your tiptoes, all right? I spent a month or so punishing those who were lazy and not doing what they were supposed to do, and guess what happened? Morale increased tremendously, and so did our efficiency. Most Christians are taught that, hey, because Yeshua completely served God, they don't have to. The idea of following all those rules and regulations in the Torah, that's not for Christians, because when you believe in Jesus, you get an automatic tip. It's called salvation, and it doesn't matter how good or bad your service is. Sorry, folks, but salvation is not automatic. Forgiveness is not automatic. And when you do just what you want to do, you're a slave only to yourself. But to be saved, you must be a slave to God. So from this point on, please review your service to God and make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do without expecting any special treatment in heaven or even here on earth. Remember how often Yeshua said that those who seek their reward from men, well, that's all they're going to get? Too many have been taught to expect a lot from God only because they believe in Yeshua. But you know what? That won't get you anywhere, really. Remember, hey, every demon in hell believes in Yeshua. What you need to do is to faithfully believe Yeshua is the Messiah. Yeah, you got to do that. And because of that, not in spite of it, you have to obey God, which is demonstrated by, here it is, those two words everybody hates, good works. I can tell you that when I face God at his throne of judgment, all I want to hear, honestly, is, well done, good and faithful servant. I don't need anything more than that, because I know when I do what is right in God's eyes, it's what I am supposed to do. But yeah, hey, it isn't all bad news. Just like servers who do exceptionally well get a larger tip, according to Deuteronomy 28, when we serve Adonai as best as we can, we receive blessings, which, yeah, well, that's God's way of giving us a tip. Well, thank you for being here. Please remember to share these messages with everyone you know, even non-believers. Hey, after all, you never know how fertile the soil is until you plant a seed in it. All right, that's it for today. So, the Hitrot and Baruch Hashem.